Voilà.
Ouais.
Alors ça serait pour Pépé. Alors il faut expliquer qu'est-ce qu'on voit là.
Ouais.
Ouais. Alors qu'est-ce qu'on voit?
Les choses de les musées.
Ouais, les choses du musée. Ok, ça c'est super là.
Oh, il y a les ordinateurs. Oh, le vieux comme... Apple. Oh.
Ouais. Je suis sûr que Pépé a utilisé les ordinateurs comme ça.
Ah oui, je crois.
Ouais.
Et je sais que tu as eu ça.
Radio Shack? Non,
Ouais.
j'ai pas eu ça. Ça c'était avant mon temps.
Oh. Ça, je sais que c'est avec 14. Ça.
Ah oui, ouais.
Wow. C'est vieux ça. Même ça.
Oh.
Il y a des voitures ici.
Oh.
Oh, regarde, le vieux limo. Les vieux comme quoi, le limo, ça.
Ah ouais.
Attends, non, ça c'est un bus.
Oui, t'as raison, c'est un bus.
Mais ça c'est un bus, comme parce que juste les gens qui ont comme beaucoup d'argent peuvent aller sur les bus.
Peut-être.
Ça c'était comment c'était avant.
Ah ouais, ça c'est pour les chaussures.
Ouais.
Un cordonnier. Oh.
Oh, pour les chaises. Oh,
Ça c'est pour les dents.
Oh.
Ça c'est le dentiste. Alors tu t'assoyais là-dessus. Et tu te faisais arracher les dents.
Non, ça. Oh, mais il y a même quelque chose comme ça pour ben.
Ah, ça c'est pour ta tête.
Ouais.
C'est pour les mettre ici.
Ouais. Mais ça ne ressemble pas très.
Ça ressemble pas très confortable, non?
Mais c'est quoi ça?
Pour laver les outils. Ouais.
Non, je crois que ça c'est le docteur. Ça c'est le docteur.
C'est l'oculiste aussi.
Et ça, regarde tous ces.
Ouais. Ouf.
Eux utilisent la même chose encore, comme beaucoup de fois. Après.
Un vieux téléphone.
Oh, ouais. Oh, ça c'est. We're gonna payer, hein? Ah, je sais rien.
Ouais, tu pèses rien.
From these,
Oh, regarde.
and oftentimes, like the radio, if they're playing it on the radio, when the person stopped singing, they would just fade out on the music to throw an ad in there,
Oh, right. Oh, that's funny.
and
Oh,
that's
that's great.
the little things that have held over that were
Oh, regarde la collection.
100 plus years ago
Regarde cette collection.
that just became normal because before the music, you know how popular songs could be in 30 seconds to a single ballad, and anyone was just interested what people would be interested in.
Regarde les vieilles poussettes. Les vieux jouets.
Oh, il y a même un fusil.
Ah ben sûr, tu as vu le fusil en premier.
Ben oui.
C'est quoi tout ça?
C'est quoi?
C'est juste des...
Oh, regarde cette petite poussette.
Ouais, je crois que c'est un peu c'est pour un jouet.
Ouais.
Pour la cuisine. Oh! Pour faire des gaufres?
Hein? Oh! Je crois que tu mets ça comme sur le
That was
four.
the home. My mother used to wheel me around in this kind of a pram.
Oh, wow.
Ah ouais?
Yeah, this is what I was in when I was a baby.
Oh, mais non, ça, c'est les vrais fusils.
Ah bah oui.
Ah, les masques.
Oui.
Oh, le masque.
Ouais.
Ouais, j'étais raison.
J'avais raison.
Ja.
Oh mon dieu, regarde. La chair. Regarde tout ça.
My ancestors emigrated
Regarde tous les outils.
Wow.
Ouh. Il y en a qui a l'air dangereux, hein.
Ouais.
Il y en a qui a l'air super.
Dangereux.
Oh oui.
Attends, ça me souvient de cette emplacement où il y a-t-il comme c'est quoi
Discovery, ah oui, à Duncan?
il y a non, le magasin des machines et j'ai toujours voulu aller à l'intérieur.
Wow.
Jamais, souviens? Wow. Tu te souviens qu'est-ce que je veux dire?
Je crois.
Tu sais,
Oh, pour les bateaux?
Et j'ai vraiment voulu avoir beaucoup des machines, tu sais, comme les outils comme parce que ça ressemblait cool, tu sais. Tu te souviens?
Oups.
Ouais, c'est comme ça. C'est ça, qu'est-ce que je me souviens. C'est quoi ça? Oh!
Driving water pumps. Ouais, c'est une machine à pompe. Ah oh! Oh! Regarde!
Quoi?
Les vieilles perceuses.
Oh!
Waouh! Ça t'arrache le bras. Je te dis, il y a des outils ici l'évolution des outils HR, c'est important.
Parce que le trial and error, hein?
Ah oui, bah oui.
Mais tu vraiment apprends d'expérience, hein?
Ouais, l'expérience, ouais.
Ouais. Oh!
Et en haut, encore aussi HR.
Ah oui! Oh, c'est quoi ça? Oh, regarde, c'est une bombe!
Ouais.
Oh, il y a
Ouais, j'arrive. How come?
regarde.
Somebody's hands every day for something in excess of 50 years.
Wow.
They've taken care of it, but it's now almost completely worn out,
Yeah.
the blade. And I was
And you
looking
can't
at it
replace it?
yesterday. The feel of it to me is so lovely because I also get the sense that I'm standing in the footsteps of those guys who've used it for decades
Yeah.
before me, and
Yeah.
that's wonderful.
He's here every Wednesday, this man.
Oh yeah?
But I looked at it carefully and said, no, I'm not going to restore this. I'm going to give it a good coat of wax, and I'm going to keep it in here just to say I don't know anything about the guys who owned it other than they loved it and they used it very, very often.
You can tell you love your tool as well. Your
Yeah.
shavings are very uniform. Look
Yeah,
at that.
well, these are from all kinds of different planes because, here is just a fairly ordinary Stanley type. It's not a Stanley, it's a clone of a jack plane for getting things sort of smooth in the first place. This has a very slightly rounded blade. I don't know
I
if
see
you've
that, yeah.
seen. So it's cutting a slightly
Oh, I see you got a. Oh, that's how you
Yeah,
put it
really.
in place.
shaving, and that's set up for roughing, taking off, because that shaving's relatively deep in the middle, and with a rounded blade like that, especially with a longer plank, you can start working across the grain, and you can take off an awful lot of wood in a very short space of time rather easily with these thick center planes.
Have you ever seen the competitions in Japan with planers?
Yes.
They do the thinnest shaving possible.
Yep, yep. And, in a way that just shows that geeks can be geeks everywhere in the world.
True.
And they'll always take
But
it
the
to
smell that you
extremes.
get from this is much nicer than what you get off a computer.
Sorry?
The geek smell, the smell for the geek doing this is much nicer than what you get for the geek working on his computer.
Yeah, I love it. I make my own wax mix, which is just melted together beeswax, boiled linseed oil, and just a little bit of genuine turpentine.
You smell that?
And the turpentine there, I'm going to say it's to soften the wax, but actually it's just for the smell because I love it.
Yeah, it's a good smell.
It makes a great smell. And
Oh yeah.
So you're building this now?
yeah, this is in process, and the idea was to be able to show people how these things worked. And I mean, this is as age-old as any idea around. So you can adjust it, that it's just a little less than the thickness of your board, so the plane doesn't hit it every time, but it's a really good stop for doing the planing like that. So
See, Paris, the only thing that's preventing him from coming here almost every day and moving close is his wife.
Yeah.
yes.
You don't understand.
See, I this is my son-in-law.
Right.
And I said to him, I said, this is like, this is a place where I could see him ending up one day.
Oh,
He said, he laughed at me. I said, nah.
If you have a sense of history and you like tools and machines,
Asher, can you see me come over here?
every time I come in,
Yeah. He says,
something new and something different and more obscure.
And you're hanging out with all the guys and
Yeah. Well, we've been arguing for weeks about this, but we think we've sussed it out. You grab that thing that's leaning against the back.
So, let me guess what that is.
This does this, so it will turn like that, or like that. Now that edge is square, but slightly curved that way. And we thought at first that this was called a caulking iron, and it actually is called a caulking iron, but we thought it was for caulking between the planks on ships. That what you do,
I see. So
the
you
planks are tapered slightly, and you hammer something like old rope fibres in there, and then run tar on top of them to seal the ship.
The hull, yeah.
Because what happens, a ship's planking shrinks and swells as the humidity in it changes. So you have to have something flexible to keep it watertight.
And because you're going this way and that way you don't have to move your hands so much.
Yeah, well, that was still us, because this would be just one person using it and another would be using the hammer.
Yeah.
But we came across just this week the idea of actually no, there's another meaning of caulking, and the word caulking is used when you rivet steel plates together for something like a boiler. The steel plate, the rivets that you put in, you hammer them closed red hot. So as they cool off, they shrink and they hold the steel plates together with enormous force. But at the same time, that distorts the steel plates very, very slightly. We're only talking thousandths of an inch. But if you're making a boiler where it's really essential that it doesn't leak at all, you rivet that seam in, and then you use this to hammer the edge of the steel plate where it overlaps, just to swell the steel plate back to close any possible gap against the other thing. And that's caulking a boiler. Now when you think, if you go out and look, there's a tall steel boiler, it's not in use, but it's in between the sheds opposite the main entrance here, and it has vertical rivet seams and horizontal rivet seams. And then you say, well, that makes all kinds of sense. You've got one guy holding this against the seam, and then that gives another guy the ability to using a two-handed sledgehammer
Yeah.
to really batter on the end of this and put enough force in to distort the metal and push it into place. So currently, as of today, this is breaking news. We believe that this is a boiler caulking iron.
Wow.
A riveted seam caulking iron. We don't believe it's been significantly used. Somebody made it, and then it probably did a little bit of work, but not very much, because otherwise we'd see a lot more distortion on this end if it had been battered more. But that's the kind of thing we get up to, arguing with each other about what a tool does.